Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Foolery, and today we're checking out the Crystar from Marvel Legends. Is this crystal guy crystal clear? Sorry, I didn't have a good plan for this one. The Marvel Legends Crystar. I do not know who this character is. I was not a fan of it. The only thing that drew me to this was one, another Build-A-Figure piece. So that was one drawing point. And the other drawing point was this sword that reminds me very much so of the Power Sword from He-Man. In fact, he has a Power Sword and shield. So this is very akin to He-Man. But let's get over. But instead of gushing over that, let's do what we normally do and see if this box is better than your mom's.
This box better than the box he was held in.
On the front, we get a big window to see Crystar, and this is one of the second figures that I've looked at this month where the character is translucent. Let's see how he looks next to her later on. We have Crystar on the side. Same Crystar photo, but flipped on the back. A little blurb about Crystar. The Prince of Crystallium. Okay. I guess, whatever. And same picture on the back. This box is trash. I'm glad it died. At least they have an excuse now that one side doesn't have anything because it's too small. But yeah, this is just lazy. How do you get one photo on 3 sides of the box? Anyway. Let's crack this thing open and see.
Oh, what's in the box?
In the box, we get Crystar, we get his Power Sword, we get his shield, and we get 2 hands, one to hold his sword, one to hold the shield, and we get the Build-A-Figure piece for the Void, which is 2 tendrils on his back. I think the Void Build-A-Figure for this set was kind of cheating because you get 2 figures. I think Justice and Crystar both come with tendrils on either side, and yes, I do appreciate that they both have 2 sets of crab tendrils, but that also means that I still have to buy another figure for the head, and I'm still waiting for Vision to come down in price, so have not gotten the last piece for the Void yet. But outside of the Build-A-Figure piece, knows what it shot you. You're giving me the minimum for this toy, which is the shield and the sword. Definitely should have shot you in the face as he ugly cried. Let's check out the design on this thing. And we're going to go to extreme close-up right now because this thing definitely needs to have a closer look at, especially with the way it looks with the clear plastic. So here you can see that they tried to do some detail in the face, but maybe my lights are drowning out, but it doesn't look good at all. You can't make out anything. It doesn't look like it's crystal clear. It just looks bad. They did a really poor job with that portion of his face. The helmet was really good, but I don't know if to make the structure for his body, his face get screwed up in the process. And then we look further down and we see the same translucent plastic throughout the body, and the blue tinge does not help it. It does not do it any justice. So you can't actually see through it. It's very just opaque, and maybe that's the goal so that you can hide away all the parts that give it the structure. As you can see, you still see some of that structure in the lower legs, but I prefer it be see-through like the lower leg versus how it looks in the upper torso. Then we get some nice red boots, give him credit for that. And I just don't like the way the plastic looks on this. I get the idea of making him look like he is shiny, but I prefer that if you're going to do a clear plastic, then do a clear plastic. Let's see how he looks compared to the other toy that I recently got that used clear plastic. When I pulled them out from the bright lights, I could see the detail in the face, so I'm not as disappointed. But if you are having him in a really nice display with really bright lights, it will totally wash out his face, and there's details that my lights aren't going to give him credit for, and I'm pretty sure the camera is not going to do him justice, but he does have white in his eyes, and you do have some detail in his face. But because of the way the plastic is set up, it looks very off and is not really that attractive. The same thing with his torso. I do appreciate the detail that goes into his body to make it crystal clear, which front doesn't do it justice, but the back does a really good job of. And I guess because of how disappointed I was in it, I just even bothered to look at the back. But that looks cool looking through. So not too bad a design. I thought this was worse than this toy, and as you can see, they still have the same problem, but somehow Hasbro did a fairly decent job hiding a lot of the giblets that are used to make this thing a toy, especially with the crystal form around him. And maybe this is why we haven't got a blob Herman yet, or a glob Herman yet, is because they know that it's going to be hard to do his skeleton and his insides without having joints like this or things of that nature. And obviously, even though I bust their chops about the quality of their toys, they actually do care about some of the things that they put out, and they wouldn't put out a glob Herman where you could see that he had a shoulder joint similar to how you see the ratchet in her shoulders. See the ratchet in her shoulders. You see the ratchet in his. Well, you see the ball joint in his. And don't fight me. But the way the crystal around it, it kind of hides it. So not too bad. No, the design's not too bad. I really thought it was going to be as bad as Fire, but it is not. Stupid 7-inch toy. Let's see if this guy can squat.
Get your body in it. Squat. Come on, squat.
He's been able to do a little bit above 90. He has a double jointed elbow, which is really hidden well, even with the clear plastic. He has a hinge in the wrist, which means that he can do a squat fairly easy. Well, let's see if he has the knees for it. He does have double jointed knees. Double jointed knees. He has a upper thigh cut. He does have waist twist. He does, and his waist twist is right below the belt. Nice job, Hasbro. And he has a swivel and a hinge in his foot. So yes, he is in a squatting position. Look at him squat just like you do in the gym. Nice deep squat. Chest out. But he is going to be limited in his superhero landing because he is going to have not the right torso for it. You can get him into a halfway decent pose with it. Let's see. Come on. Halfway decent, but you're limited because you don't have a ball joint here and you don't have the right waist for it. So he can get down on a knee. He can, especially with his sword and his shield, probably get him in some really cool poses, but you're not going to get him into some more dynamic poses, and that's fine. You don't expect that much from Marvel Legends, unfortunately, but this is decent. There are other toys in the Marvel Legends line that give you more articulation, but this is not too bad. Especially, I'm assuming it's because of the body choice to make this clear plastic and the body they had to use for this. They couldn't use a ball joint in the torso to make it more dynamic. Let's talk about money. Crystar goes for 20. Well, originally went for $24, and I'm pretty sure you can find him now for about $16-17 on Amazon or other stores. He is sold out on Hasbro Pulse. He's sold out in a lot of places. So if you are really interested in this character, or if you're interested in finishing and build a figure, I say get him from Amazon if you're still interested. But let's give this thing a wrap up and get out of here, guys. Crystar, the box was decent, but not really. It's just the generic box that we get from all Marvel Legends. Boo. Then the design. I was a little tricked by the design, but it's actually a really cool design with the face and the way it looks. Doesn't look good in the bright lights, but in the right lighting, it looks really good. As for his ability, it's me. It could be better, but it's not the worst when it comes to its ability to move. And as for prices, 25 bucks is not so bad. So my final score for Crystar, I'm giving him a 6 out of 8. He is really a good toy, and I think anyone would appreciate to have him in their collection. That's it for me, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.